Hello, I'm Jeff Byers, and I'm going to be taking you through the assignment for Module 2, Character Rigging, creating the upper body skeletal structure and joint controllers. We're also going to be doing the finger controls as well with step-driven keys, so we'll be doing that in a different video. But this will all be under Module 2. Alright, so the skeletal structure, what we have right now are the reverse foot, the IK system for the legs, and everything seems to be working pretty good, right? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start working our way up the upper body. Alright, so working on our upper body, we are now going to start looking in our book at pages 87. So if you guys could open up your Animation Methods Rigging Made Easy, open up page 87, and the only joints we are not going to make that are in the book are called the jaw and chin joints. We're not going to do those. So we're going to start with the root joint, the back joint, the chest joint, the neck, head, and head tip. So I've already got a skeleton already set up to kind of help us guide you through where the joints need to be. These are all predefined and basically set up for our own human bodies. So we've got a lot more joints in the human body, but we do not need to have those in the rig. But we do need to have joints in spots that need to be deformed. So basically the abdomen, okay? So let's go ahead and start this out by going to Skeleton, Create Joints, reset the tool, close that out, and let's just go ahead and start setting the joints up. Okay, so I'm going to click at the very bottom. Okay, now if you click right over top of another joint system, it will activate it. So I'm going to go Control Z back, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of click on it outside of that joint, okay, because we don't want to connect the two. And we'll just go to that one right here and just kind of where the abdomen's going to rotate, and we'll go up to the chest section, okay, and then the lower part of the neck, and then right where the neck would bend right here, and then to the top of the head. Okay, with that done, hit enter or the return key. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place this joint where it needs to be. Go ahead and place it right there. And then we'll just move this one into place, and that should move all the rest of them. If they're not in place, then basically you can go ahead and move these right now with the arrow key. Get those set up in position if you need to. And we'll end with this top one up here. Here we go. Alright, so that looks good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in a layer. Alright, so the joint names now. This is really important. So the joint names are very important. So now we've got the joints set up. The joint names will be, the very first one will be called root joint. Root _ JNT. Again, you can pause the video. I'm going to go quickly. Back _ JNT. Chest _ JNT. Neck _ JNT. Head _ JNT. And then head tip _ JNT. Alright, you can pause the video at any time if I'm going too fast. Alright, so the joints are centered in the center of the object. If you look at this, you can see that a couple things that you need to do if you don't see your joints is go to shading and make sure X-ray joints is on. Another thing is your joints may be too big or too small. Again, going to your settings preferences, the little guy running away from a little gear at the bottom here, right hand corner. Click on that, go to kinematics, and make those changes in here. You can make them bigger or smaller, whatever you'd like. Okay, you can see the difference. You can slide it back and forth and find the right size you want. Renaming is extremely important, guys. Extremely important. Alright, the next group set that we need to set up is basically on, looks like it's on page 84 in the book. We're going to click create the hip joint system. This allows us to rotate the hips back and forth. Okay, so the hip joints are super important. They're the ones that are gray, right here, grayed out. If I click on them, you can see that this is what they look like, and this is where they're set up. Okay. Alright, the hip joints are equally as important as any other joint. This will allow us to sway the hips back and forth, which we're going to need. So let's go ahead and click on skeleton, create joints. This will be easy and fast. I don't need to do anything in here. Just click on create joints. Click on the top one first up here. Okay, just above in this location here, and then go straight down. And then hit return or enter. And the first one, okay, let me put that in a layer. The first one is, go in here, let's get that opened up again, is called the hip joint. The first one, okay, is the hip joint. And the second one we're going to call, this should be, let's see, what do we got down there for that? A hip end joint. I need to actually rename that. Hip end joint. There we go. So hip end joint, hip end joint underscore. So hip underscore end underscore joint. And the first one is called hip underscore joint. Okay. You can see that goes straight down. Okay, great. Alright, so we got the spline control, we got the hip rotational joint set up. Now we're going to need to do the arms. So I'm going to go ahead and open those up and kind of take you through it real quick. So we'll do the shoulder. Now one thing again is on the arm, okay. So on page 88, now I'm on page 88 of the book. We are not going to do the chest joints at the top on page 88. We also are not going to do the clavicle because I don't need to do any arm rolls, okay, with this character. So we are going to do the left shoulder joint, the left elbow joint, the left wrist joint. So these three joints will be the first ones that we actually create. And then I'm adding a hand joint right here, okay? And then we're going to go off into the smaller parts of the fingers, okay? So we'll go ahead and get started. So with this, doing the top joints, we are going to have to go to the top view of the character here. And I'm going to go hold down the space bar, go to skeleton and create joints. And we're going to start at the shoulder. Okay, now it's kind of hard to see, but right where the foot is, okay, you see where the foot, you're going to go right across from that. Okay, just a little bit over top of that. Okay, it's over to the right of it. And then we're going to click on where your elbow is. Okay, click on that. And then we're going to go down to the wrist. Now you usually want to have that a little before that, that break in the glove. And then we're going to go to do one more where the hand is going to be. Okay, probably the center of the glove would be good. And then hit return or enter. Okay, that's great. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the joints for the hands. Okay, so we're going to go in here to skeleton and create joints again, and we're just going to go right down the fingers. Now what I usually like to do is keep them nice and straight and then rotate them into place. So we're going to create the first one, okay, right about there, and then hold the shift key down and just go right down the length of the finger like that and hit enter. Okay, a lot of times, what I tell students is you could actually take that and move it, duplicate it and move it over. Duplicating joints doesn't hurt anything. You could do that. So basically you could go Control D and move that over and then rotate it like this. Okay, then click on the joint, hit the W key, and just move that back into place. Now hold the Shift key though, so you don't mess things up. Okay, so we're going to place those in. And you won't have to do a whole lot of adjustment. I'm just holding down the Shift key so it gets placed right. Okay, that looks good. Alright, cool. And we'll click on this guy right here since we adjusted it already. Do a Control D and move it over to the next one. And of course you can rotate it like that. And usually start from the bottom. I probably should have done that in the first place. Hold the Shift key down. And we'll move that one down like that. Okay, holding the Shift key. We got a couple more to do. Control D, move it over and move it down, and then we'll just rotate it like that. And we'll go ahead and move this around, holding the Shift key down. We'll keep it nice and lined up for you. You can see I'm just kind of moving things around. And then one last one. Control D and move it. And rotate it into place. And this one's going to be a little more work here, I think, because the thumb is actually rotated sideways a little bit. So again, we'll hit the W key and we'll just put these in place. Again, hold the Shift key down, get them placed, get them situated. This one wasn't too bad. Okay, with this one, at this point, okay, what we want to do is we need to move, it's on the ground, that's how it's all set up, and we're going to select it, the arm, and then we're going to shift select the fingers, and we are going to move those up into place. Whoops. I guess we can't do all of them. Let's just do the arm. Go ahead and click on the arm and move it up. Okay, get it as close as you can to be centered in the arm as possible. Okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. Then select the fingers and move those up separately like that. And try to align them with the other joints. Okay. There we go. Alright. And so what we're going to do with this one is the thumb is a little different. I have to kind of move it down a little bit. Whoops. Just the thumb. And hit the Q key. There we go. And I'm going to place that down a little bit like this. Also, what I want to do is I want to rotate this joint system around. Okay, so I'm going to double click on the rotation value and go to object mode, and that's going to give me the exact, the object. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate it down like that. Okay, so you can see that I've got that like that, and then I'm going to rotate it down like that. Okay, and what I did was, I think it's rotated at, we're going to do -40. That's about the direction that your thumb is, 40 degrees. And then I am going to try to place it in the finger a little bit better. Just kind of looking at the finger like this. Here we go. And the next thing I'm going to do is do the same thing with the rest of the fingers, get them placed in the right spots where the knuckles are. If you made a mistake, this is the time to get it just right. Make sure the tips are right at the end of the fingers. Okay, I'm going to do this for all the fingers here. And some of them are rotated up, and that's what you want to do. You want to get those rotated up. And you can even rotate them down a little bit if you want to, like that. And just make sure they're going to be situated in the right spots. The only way to do that is to kind of rotate around in it. There we go. And the last one, I'm running out of time on my video here, so I'm going to rotate that one in the spot in place. There we go. Okay, and then we'll connect the joints and then rename them. Okay, right, that'll be in the next video. Right, I'll see you then.